Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Boy, are you kids in for a treat, because old Cappy's going to read an excerpt from his book, because that way he doesn't have to think, and he can answer this question at the same time while marketing his book. Oh my God, he's a genius. Aaron, I'm requesting the following. I'm requesting a video discussing the following. A, how boomers, or in my case, helicopter parents, raise pussies and weak beta men. Why the hell do they do this? And B, 10 things that you must do to improve yourself to be a fucking man. Obviously, read your books. I got it right. However, I'm looking for the most important things in this vid, in your opinion. Also, commenters and subscribers, feel free to share your top 10 picks. Now, just to give you the background on this client, he may sound geeky, and he is, but he did come from a disadvantaged background. By disadvantage, I mean his parents were helicopter parents and fucking smothered him. So he's a little off. But he is very well intending and trying to get to normal. He just woke up, I wouldn't say metaphorically, took the red pill. But he's like, whoa, I'm fat, I'm lazy, I'm a loser, I don't want to be this for the rest of my life. And so, I know it may sound a little cheesy, but it's true. So let's go through this. Now, to answer why boomers in general, and specifically helicopter parents, raised pussies and weak beta men, why the hell do they do this? You can find that in this chapter of my book, How Not to Become a Millennial, The Parent Boomers. Even though the book is about the millennials, we can't talk about millennials without first discussing the parents that raised them, or rather should I say, failed to raise them. So here's an excerpt. This will answer your question. Too lazy and cowardly to parent. I was attending a charity event and found myself talking with a boomer couple and their 20-something daughter. The topic of conversation was about how their other daughter could not attend as she was living out of state. Though she was pushing 30, she was still having trouble finding herself and still relied on the financial support of her parents. But I could tell by the rolling eyes of the younger daughter that it was her parents' handouts that was the problem, not the solution, as it was simply enabling her older sister to continue her parasitic lifestyle. They knew I was an economist, so they asked for my advice. And I said, cut her off, cold turkey, totally now. But the mother said something very interesting. Oh no, I just couldn't do that. She's my baby. And so I left it at that, as I knew there was nothing I could do. But that statement really needs to be dissected, because it is everything wrong with boomer parenting and parenting today. Because while on the face of it seemed the mother just wanted what was best for her child, in reality she was a lazy and cowardly mother who clearly loved herself more than her own child. The reason the mother and father continued to financially support their adult child daughter is not because they loved her, it's because of fear. Fear of the toil and suffering that comes with being a real parent. And not only were they too lazy to parent, but they were cowards on top of it, afraid of a confrontational conversation they would have to have with their daughter to set her on the path to adulthood. This is why they forked over the monthly stipend to their daughter, because it spared them from the discomfort and pain of having an uncomfortable conversation. And so if you think about it clearly, they literally feared the discomfort of having that necessary conversation more than they loved their daughter, because if they really loved their daughter more than themselves, they would gladly suffer that minor pain to ensure her future would be better in the long run. This is everything that was wrong with boomer parenting, laziness, and cowardice. Parenting is hard, and the fear of things that is hard is what drives all laziness. But some parent boomers had a solution that would satisfy both the desire to have children, but not suffer the pain and toil that would come with properly raising a kid. They would half-ass it. Specifically, they would choose the aspects of parenting they liked to do and avoid the ones they didn't. It would be all carrots, no sticks, all good cops, no bad, all cake, no Brussels sprouts, all time out, no spanking, all motherly love, no tough fatherly love, and the millennials would pay dearly. The reason they would pay dearly is because the real world is not all cake, carrots, good cops, positive feelings, puppies, and unicorns. It wasn't the utopia Professor Boomers insisted it must be, and it wasn't the namby-pamby bullshit your elementary school teachers told you it should be. The real world was tough, unfair, vicious, Machiavellian, conniving, evil, and opportunistic. And in shirking their parental duties by raising a generation of children under this pie-in-the-sky lie, with absolutely no tough love that would prepare them for the real world, boomer parents sent their children into the world defanged, declawed, and completely clueless. I talk about the education bubble and all that other there. That upcoming book, titled How Not to Become a Millennial. So, That's why. The boomers, and it's not just boomers, I've seen it now with Gen X and the millennials that are becoming parents now, they're lazy. And their laziness is stronger than their love for you. This isn't to say your parents don't love you. Parents typically do love their children. But what I have seen, this is sad to say, but it's just what I've seen, most parents love their laziness. They're more lazy than, the strength of their laziness is stronger than their love for their children. And I've always said that the perfect quote is, a lot of women want to get married and have kids. Very few of them actually want to be mothers and wives, because that's the effort part. And you may say, well, wait a minute, helicopter parents, they're really all over me. They're really on top of it. And they're putting a lot of effort, but you really got to see that for what it is. They really don't, that is laziness. Because if they loved you as a child, they would suffer watching you suffer. They'd say, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you, spanking that. And that was true. No parent really wants to spank their kids, but they suffer that so that their kid grows up right. And what ends up happening is because they don't want to see you suffer, because they're going to suffer pain too, they will gladly pay and pamper you and protect you from the real world, shield you from the real world, as long as, at least in their eyes, they don't have to see you suffer. Then you get dumped out in the real world like you, a fat, lazy, no good fuck, well, you're suffering immensely. But they don't see that. That's at school, that's something like that. And then on top of it, it's easier to throw money than to sit you down and tell you these harsh realities of life. So what I like to call it is they're really protecting more their genetics than they are raising a child. And that really is what helicopter parents are. They're like, these are my genetics, you're a thing, you're a precious thing. You're not a child. You're not a liability or responsibility that boomer parents and now Gen X parents, millennial parents have to raise and prepare for the real world. You're this little doll to dress up and shield from the real world so that maybe your genetics will continue on. And that's what helicopter parents are. They don't love their kids. They just don't want to suffer the pain of watching their genetics. And I refuse to use the word children. They do not want to see their genetics suffer. They want their genetics to go off and up, but they totally misunderstand how the real world works. Instead of investing in rigor and training and resistance and suffering and resilience, teaching that to their kids, they spoil your kids rotten because it's easier to cut a fucking check. Let me guess, your mom wasn't there raising you. She was out working. You know why? Because it was easier to go work than stay at home and change a diaper. And then it's like, cut a check for somebody else to do that. I'm a mother. So that's it. What I just read there. Laziness and cowardice. Parenting is hard. Unless you don't want to do it. Then you just pay someone else to do it. And then like, oh my God, I just wrote a check. We need more government programs. And I go at very long lengths at this in the book about how we all blame our children's failings, not on shitty parenting or shitty parents. It's the head-to-head-to-heads. It's the autisms. It's the Asperger's. My kid has a disability, not shitty parents, because obviously I'm the greatest in the world. So you could get that all in that book there later. Now, 10 things you must do to improve yourself and be a fucking man. Okay. Number 1. Self-supportation. Matter of fact, you do that, you are a man. That is the defining moment of being a real man or woman. Self-supportation. True independence. You don't need mom and dad to pay for yourself. God almighty, 30 fucking years old, I remember we're still running into full-grown men and women my age who are like, I'm independent. I'm like, no, you're not. Your dad helps you with rent. You got gray hair starting to come in, and your dad's paying for your car insurance. So self-supportation is, I'd say, the only thing you really have to do to be a real man or a real woman. But other stuff, you have to hit the gym. I'd say that's number 2. Very closely. You hit the gym. You stay in physical shape. Number 3, you develop a real skill or trade. That will help you, or that would be part and parcel of becoming self-supporting. But you develop some kind of real skill or trade that it gives value to society. You're a programmer, you're a doctor, you're a mechanic or something like that. You're not a politician. You're not working for the fucking Peace Corps. You're not some fucking limp dick professor. All right? You're actually doing some real fucking shit. You are of value to society, and they pay you for your value. That's why you're an independent adult. You're not running around asking for government grants and I need a grant so I can teach the children about exceptional and pedagogies and things and stuff they make up in academia. Like, you leave school. You don't just go from school to go to school to go back to teaching at school. You leave fucking school. We have 3, 4. There's not much. Those 3 things right there, you're already in the top 5%. 4. What would be 4? You need hobbies. You need hobbies on your own. You need to set your own path. Let's put that as number 4. You must have goals in life outside of work and self-supportation that when you die on your deathbed, you will have no regrets because you will have either achieved those goals or you were on your way to achieving them. And, or maybe a lot of time you die achieving them, riding a motorcycle, for example. I don't care what they are. They can be fun. They should be fun because you're supporting yourself. But there should be something that you do not waste your life. I was fucking sitting yesterday watching a bunch of people watch TV. I'm like, oh my God, is this what you people do? And they do. They're all fed. So you must go and live life, I guess, you must give agency and reason in life. Closely related to number 4, but I'm going to make it number 5. You do not put women number 1 in your life. That is your goals, but a lot of guys, because of genetics and logic, makes sense. Oh, women, I want the women, chase after the girls. You do not put women number 1. I'm not saying they're off your list, but you do not put them number 1. You put your life at number 1. You put your career probably at number 2 so you can survive. And if any women want to come along and support you, that's the key thing. Not tag along and nag and question, why are we doing this? Why are we doing, I don't know. No. She's like, let's go. I got your 6, which is incredibly rare. But if you say, nope, I'm going this way in life. I know you're not number 1. You're number 3 or 4 or 5. And you either come with me or not, I don't care. But that's the 5th thing you do as a man, is you do not put a woman number 1 in your life. Now, if you find the right woman, she would be supportive of your life, and she will naturally, she will rise to number 1 in your life. But that's because she's supporting you, and you're right for each other, and blah, blah, blah. Again, that's a rare thing. We talk about unicorns and mythical creatures later. Oh, God, we're only halfway through. 6, I'd say you learn how to fix computers and cars. Like, you get some carpentry skill. How is it? Carpentry, auto mechanics, and computer skills. So you can fucking fix that shit back at home. 7, stay out of debt. 8, this would be implied in being an adult, but let's just list it there. You adequately save for your retirement so you don't rely on other people. You know, like, I need the government to bail me on my student loans. I need Social Security. I need Medicare. You know, if you're one of these pussies that fucking go with the Yang Gang and you want your basic guaranteed income, you are not a real man. You're just not. Real men don't need other people to pay for the shit. That's the whole idea of being independent. So if you're running around like you didn't save enough for retirement, no, you're not a real man. You now become a pariah. You're a parasite. So that's 8. What would 9 be? I guess while we're on politics, you do not vote to increase the size of the state. You vote for freedom. You vote for the individual. You vote for lower tax, unless we get taxes that are so low that, you know, roads aren't being repaired. But that's the least of our concerns right now. But a real man simply doesn't vote for socialism or communism. He doesn't. He just doesn't. He is for the individual. And to help you with that, you would become educated in world history, especially world historical economics, and realize, oh, wow, all this has been a battle, has been to get all Western civilizations, one big-ass battle, starting back with the Greeks, to today where it's like, let's get out from underneath the fucking government. Let the individual be free. And we got to that point for like a decade or so, maybe 50 years. And then they're like, let's have the government pay for everything now, yay. It's hilarious how people think handouts are rights. That's it's my right to have free abortion. It's like, no, that's not a right. You have a right to have an abortion, or at least you should, but to have it paid for, that's not a right. You're taking away my rights. No, you're stealing my money, and that's what that is. Although I am more than happy to pay for women's abortions. That's a different topic. I am all for, here's the money. Because the type of gal that gets an abortion is the type of gal you don't want to be a mom. Just spare that kid a lifestyle of hell. Number 10. Number 10. Fuck. What is number 10? There's a lot. There's not much left on the table to do. I don't know. You make those 9, you're doing real damn good. Number 10. Here's number 10. You achieve Stoicism. That would be you master self-control. You do not get angry. You do not get riled up. You do not strike out in anger. You control yourself and do not let other things piss you off. And they have every right. You can get pissed off, but you do not react to it irrationally or dangerously. You have control and I have not achieved 10. Sometimes I could have landed in jail very easily some nights. But that is a key thing for men, is self-control and stoicism. You achieve those 10 things, you'll do very well. All right, great. As the kid said, buy all my books. Bachelor Pad Economics. Worthless. The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. What else? Enjoy the Decline. Curse the High IQ. Reconnaissance Man. I think that's it. I got others. Captain Capitalism Top Shelf. And we'll see you kids later. Toodles.